next holiday, might I suggest you come to Malaysia? We have beautiful coral reefs at islands like Sipadan and Tioman. Our Belum Temenggor forests are some of the oldest in the world, with a rich variety of flora and fauna. And our cities, they are the perfect combination of modernity and culture. You might want to come soon though. Rising ocean temperatures mean many of our coral reefs may bleach and eventually die. Changes in rainfall patterns could cause a drought, while rising temperatures would lead to forest fires. Both of these will affect the forest's delicate ecosystem. Meanwhile, our cities and towns are already facing both floods and water shortage. While these are major problems for those who love traveling, there is a more practical concern at hand as well. Tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry for countries like Malaysia and many others around the world. Isn't it time we talked about how climate change is changing the way we experience the world?
Often overlooked when addressing serious issues like poverty, gender equality, or climate change, the arts have the power to challenge reality and ask the strongest questions in the simplest ways possible. Many iconic works of art have commented and created a discourse on climate change. Significantly, they have all gone viral. The arts can carry a message to a large number of people and also legitimize a subject. One example, coming from Romania, relates to one of the largest ecological protests we had in recent years against the forming of the biggest cyanide lake in Europe. The artist Dan Pejovski played an important role. His drawings became the voice of protesters not only in Romania, but all around the world. And this put pressure on politicians to take action against cyanide mining. Without instrumentalizing them, but paying the highest respect for freedom of expression, the arts can be a powerful advocate for global phenomena like climate change. It's important to acknowledge that development policies that do not take into account the cultural dimension just risk not being sustainable.
In many parts of the world, including Pakistan, climate change is God's wrath, the divine hand behind drastic changes in weather patterns. There is little one does except pray. One of the reasons why the Pope's call for mobilization on climate changes is a big message. Sidestepping contentious issues, the Pope used climate change to bridge the conversation on inequality, sharing of global resources, and the developed and developing world. The Pope has given a loud and clear message, not only to the people but also to the religious leaders, to engage in the climate change debate and sensitize their communities on the matter for a cleaner and safer world.
It is not a secret that plastic items such as bottles, caps, bags and containers are one of the main contributors to climate change. Most businesses would use plastic indiscriminately, giving no thought to where they end up. The impact of their products on the climate has never been part of businesses and their balance sheets. The media can play the part in linking the two. For instance, the impact of recycling on the economy or the long-term profits of replacing plastic with natural or recyclable materials. After all, plastic items may seem profitable in the short term, but if businesses knew they could invest in environmentally friendly ideas and still make a profit, why wouldn't they?
In 2009, at the Copenhagen Climate Change Conference, the US and China denounced each other. Despite being the world's largest contributors of carbon emissions, 5 years later, in 2014, the dispute ended and two countries reached a historic agreement. How did this happen? President Obama took more initiative on climate change compared to the Bush administration and placed more pressure on China. As tensions had increased between China and the US in the last 5 years, climate change became a way of cooperation preventing a further deterioration in relations. Most of all, the Chinese government faced a great deal of domestic pressure. The politics of climate change, its potential headline, the authors is on journalists to deconstruct the real story behind rhetoric.